Okay. So coming to stand at the top of the mat, coming into mountain pose, Tadasana. Just for these first few opening moments, I want you to place one hand on top of the other on the lower belly. If the balance feels a bit unsteady with the feet together, by all means take the feet hip width apart. Your choice. Just allowing the navel area to soften and widen as you breathe. Just feeling some energy down through the legs, grounding through the heels, spreading the toes, rooting through the tailbone. Taking the attention inwards, softening around your jaw, through your tongue. Eyes can be closed for now, or maybe the gaze is cast downwards. Just breathing gently through the nose. So starting by stopping, allowing your attention to really rest here in your own internal space. If you're familiar with Ujjayi breath, you can start to deepen the breath, creating that soft sibilant sound. And if that's not a practice that you have yet learned, just slightly deepen the breath. So we'll move through some Surya Namaskar. I'll talk you through a variation, but feel free to do a variation of your own. Next time you exhale, you can release the hands. Breathing in, floating the arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale as you swan dive, hinging at the hips, folding forwards. Breathing in, coming into a flat back, extending the chest, lengthening forwards. And then exhale, stepping right, stepping left, coming into plank pose. Breathing into plank, tailbone rooting back towards your heels. And for this first Surya Namaskar, let's take the knees, chest and chin to the ground. Sliding forwards into Cobra. So low, medium Cobra, use the back muscles to come up. Exhale, pushing the ground away, back into downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths here. Spreading the fingers, grounding through the bases of the knuckles. You can soften the knees, lifting the hip bones up, really finding as much traction as you can through the spine. The end of the next exhale, looking up towards your fingers, stepping, walking your feet back up to the front of the mat. And as you breathe out, folding down towards your legs. Uttanasana, inhale, sweeping the arms wide, up. Urdhva Hastasana, exhaling, hands come back into the center of the chest. One more time, breathing in. Exhale, swan dive. Groin soften as you fold. Inhale to lift up, flat back. Exhale, stepping back, coming into your plank. This time, your choice, lowering to Chaturanga and upward dog, or repeating the same, knees, chest, chin into Cobra, as you feel your body is ready for. Exhaling back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Lifting, drawing the kneecaps up, heels reaching back towards the floor. Maybe a slight tilt with the pelvis. You can feel the sitting bones lifting up, engaging Mula Bandha, that lift of the pelvic floor. Good, exhaling all your air out. Stepping your feet, walking back up to the front of the mat. Folding down towards your legs. Exhale. Using the in-breath to come all the way back up. Exhaling, hands back into the center of the chest. Surya Namaskar B, bending the knees, touching grass. Inhale as you lift. Exhale, chest to thighs as you straighten the legs. Lifting up to lengthen, take an in-breath. And then exhale, you can step or hop back into your plank. Your choice, knees, chest, chin, or lowering through chaturanga into upward facing dog. Exhaling back, downward facing dog. Pivoting your left foot, stepping the right foot up towards the right thumb. As inhale, coming up, warrior one. Grounding through the back heel. Exhale, release the hands down, stepping back, coming into plank. Your choice. Breathing into the back bend, exhaling, lifting from the navel back into downward facing dog. Pivoting the right foot, stepping left foot forwards. Breathing in to come up, warrior one. Good, exhale back, stepping back into your plank, slowly lowering down. Inhaling up, exhaling back, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths here. When you feel ready, stepping, hopping your feet back up. Again, feet together or feet hip width, your choice for Uttanasana, deep bend in the knees, inhaling up. Let's pause and hold this Utkatasana. So it's almost as if you have a cushion, small cushion between the knees, and you're squeezing that cushion, really emphasizing the adductor muscles at the center of the leg. Find that inner line. Weighting yourself back down into the heels, reaching up through the elbows. Try and straighten the elbows if you can. Last breath here. And then pressing into the ground. Release. Exhale the hands back into the center of the chest. Just take a few breaths. Feel the beating of the heart. Coming into Vrikshasana or tree pose. So taking the right foot up, grounding into your left leg. So you can place the foot on the calf or up towards the inner thigh. Just have the hands resting on the hip bones for a moment. Just feel like you're trying to level out the hips. Weighting that left knee down and then hugging the midline, placing the palms together. You can float the hands up the midline, up towards the ceiling. Weighting through your tailbone. Finding your breath, finding the gaze on something that's not moving. Good. Exhale, release the hands down. And then just slightly soften the standing leg, flexing I'm mirroring you. Right foot coming into standing pigeon. So you're sending the sitting bones back. You might start to lean forwards, widening through the elbows. Maybe the elbows can come down to brush that shin. Hugging the inner thighs together. Good. Push into the ground, slowly coming up. See if you can stay on that standing leg and just cross the leg over. Easy version of Garudasana, you might have the toes on the ground. Some of you may be able to hook the foot around. Arms can cross, palms coming towards each other. If that feels a little bit tricky, just go ahead and hug the elbows and the hands together as you slowly start to lower down, squeezing and hugging the inner thighs together. Good, rounding the spine as you come into your standing squat. Beautiful. Inhale, coming up. Letting the eagle fly out of the nest, arms and leg come out to the side and release. Good, coming to the other side. So find Tadasana on the feet, mountain pose, spreading your toes, try and really feel that strong foundation underneath. Standing with the right foot coming up, left foot coming up. Standing with the left foot coming up on the right leg. Good. Grounding through the tailbone. Just take a moment, balance the hands on the hips, really feel like the hips are level, and then hugging the midline, palms pressing in. So imagining that plumb line, you can float the hands up if and when you feel ready. Hands can be together or hands apart. Just finding the breath. And resisting the inner thigh back into the foot, any amount. Good, floating the hands back. Coming into your standing pigeon, crossing left foot over the right knee, sending, it's like Utkatasana, you're sending the sitting bones back towards the back edge of your mat, heart lifting towards your thumbs. Doesn't matter how far down you come. Inner thighs hugging in towards each other. Really feeling the stability in that standing leg as you come up, stabilizing through the ankle, and then sliding the left foot over. Tips of the toes can come to the ground, slightly easier version, hands and elbows squeeze in, or if you're taking a little bit deeper, toes come around the shin and you wrap one arm underneath. Opposite way to the last time. Good, sinking down any amount, tailbone dropping down, rounding the spine. Good, everything's hugging into that center midline. When you're ready, floating up, arms, leg out to the side, unfurling and release. Good. Take a moment, find yourself back in mountain pose, heart lifting away from the navel. Energy of the coccyx or the tailbone moving downwards. Let's take a big step back with the left foot. Front heel intersecting the back arch. Inhale, taking the arms nice and wide for Trikonasana, triangle pose. Rotating, rolling that left shoulder back as you let the hand rest either on the shin or take the back of the hand into the inner calf. Your choice. Letting the left ribs melt back into the body. Good. If your gaze is up, exhale the gaze towards the ground. Bending the right knee, coming into half moon pose. So the right fingers come maybe 8 or so inches on the baby toe side of that right foot. Left hand can be on the left hip as you flex the left foot. You know, by all means, use any props that you may have available to you at home. Book, a brick, block. And then final window dressing. If you have your balance, you can extend the left arm straight up towards the ceiling. Good. We're going to come into the revolved version of this pose. So the arm that's up towards the ceiling is now going to come back towards the floor. You're going to square your hips so your left toes are going to be facing down towards the ground, and see if you can make your right hand really light. You can either bring that right hand to your right hip, or you can start to open the chest in the opposite direction, so twisting towards the right. Maybe the right arm floats all the way up. Good. On your next exhale, take a little step back. So you're facing down towards that leg. Parivrtta Trikonasana, or revolved triangle pose. Bring the left fingertips in towards your right foot. If you want, you could come up a little bit higher if that feels better for the spine. And just take the back of your right hand to the sacrum, rolling your right shoulder away from the floor. That's a slightly easier version, slightly more gentle version of the spine. Otherwise, fingertips can be on the ground. And if you feel like your right shoulder is stacking above the left, go ahead and extend up through that right arm. Good. Staying with the energy of the legs, hugging and drawing the inner thighs towards each other. Rooting downwards through the feet. You can start to, on your next exhale, release the twist. And folding down towards your right leg for Parivruttanasana. We'll take a variation with our fingertips walking back towards our back foot.
So dropping the head, forehead towards your shin, any tiny amount.
Finding the balance here on the feet, resting in the bones of the legs.
And then fingertips walking up, back up towards the foot and further, maybe 10 or so inches in front. We're going to take our weight onto our standing leg and float the left leg up as high as we can. Standing splits. And then maybe the fingertips can walk back in towards the foot. Maybe if you have your balance here, one hand can come and hold the back of the ankle and the calf as you fold in towards that standing leg.
Good.
And then from here, releasing your left foot all the way back down. Bringing the feet together, folding into Uttanasana, standing forward fold. When you're ready on an in-breath, arms come wide, coming all the way up.
Exhaling the hands back. So doing the left side, so stepping back with the right foot now. So coming into the other side, Trikonasana, taking the arms nice and wide. Just take a quick glance down, front heel in line with the back arch, back foot very slightly turned in, and then reaching, lengthening on the underside of that left body, coming into your triangle, rolling the right shoulder back, softening the right ribs in towards you. Any position you like with that left hand. Maybe it rests on the shin, maybe the back of the hand comes to the inner calf, or you can have fingertips on the floor. Whatever you have available, however your body feels today. Good, exhale the gaze towards the ground. Transferring into a half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. You can bend the left knee, fingertips come out towards the outside edge of that left foot, about 8 inches in front of the baby toe. And then your right leg coming up in space, flexing that foot as if you're shining a light out of the sole of that foot. Hand can be on the hip. If you feel you have your balance, maybe extending up through that right arm. So pressing down with that left leg, drawing up on the left kneecap. Really feeling the strength and the stability of that standing leg. Good, switching to the revolved variation. So your right hand's going to come down and the left hand will come up towards your left hip. Right toes pointing down towards the floor, so that leg that's in the air is still very strong. And starting to peel back your left shoulder. Maybe left arm can float up as you twist towards the left. Take one more breath here. Exhaling, fingertips can come down, little step back. Almost as wide as we had with triangle pose, maybe tiny bit shorter, coming into the revolved variation. So you can come up a little bit higher, hand can come to the shin, left hand can come onto the lower back, and really gently twisting that left, or peeling the left shoulder back. So you're coming into a twist gently. Coming into the appropriate depth for you. Important point is you want to be twisting from the most extended spine that you can find. Fingertips might come to the ground for some of you. If you feel that left shoulder is pretty much stacking above the right, you can extend the left arm up. Really finding your breath. Feeling the support of the navel drawing back to the spine on your exhale. Gently release, coming into your forward fold, Parsvottanasana or pyramid pose. You might turn the back toes a bit more forwards and then gently walking the fingertips back. Gently coming back towards the back foot. Forehead any amount towards the shin. Really enjoying the balance here on the legs. Feeling the support of the bones.
Good. On your next in-breath, lifting the head, fingertips are going to come forwards. We're going to transfer the weight onto the left leg for your standing splits, floating that right leg up as high as you can. Maybe the fingertips walk back towards the foot, extending up, pushing through the ball of the foot, the leg that's in the air. And then finally, maybe cupping the back of that leg. Only if you have the balance. Just see how you feel. One side invariably is different to the other. Good. From this standing splits, let's take a big step back with the right foot. Frame your hands either side of the left and step back into downward facing dog. When you're ready, move through one final vinyasa. So you're coming into your plank, slowly lowering. Your choice, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga into upward dog. Back into downward facing dog. A little hop. Halfway up the mat, come into a squat. If you can, try and lower the heels towards the floor. It just helps release the tailbone, the sacrum, finding that nice traction. For this variation, let's take our arms over the knees, fingertips pointing down. Trying to lift the chest as you project any amount of weight through the knees. Breathing deeply into the pelvis. And then exhale, if you can, releasing back towards your seat, bringing the palms together. I'm going to exhale and just slowly lower, not all the way down. Just see if you can round the spine as much as you can, kind of collapsing the ribs into you, down towards the floor. And when you're almost there, come all the way back up. Use your in-breath to come up. Exhale, rounding. Trying to find as much of a curve in your lower spine as you can. Coming all the way up, breathing in. This time, keep going. Use your exhale, come all the way down to the floor. Palms can rest on the belly. Feet can come out to the width of the mat. Just allow the feet to roll open. Just find any position with the hands that feels comfortable. Maybe they'll come out to the side, palms up. Just letting go of any manipulation of the breath now. Allowing the breath to breathe you. So I'll leave you here to lie, rest, soak in the benefits of the practice. Namaste.